Leggings are back once again for this fall. I mean, they're always popular this time of year, but there is a right way and a wrong way to wear them. In today's video, I'm showing you how to wear your leggings in a very 2025 chic, sophisticated way. Let's get started. Let's start with this all black base. Now these pieces are from COS and I've had them for a couple of years now. About the leggings, I love how these fit. These are a nice, sturdy, thick legging. They're not a workout legging. They are a fashion legging. They feel very compressed, like I'm being held in all the right places, and I feel very confident in them. I love the seam in the front and just gives it a little extra detail. You definitely don't have to go for that. And I like the band here on top. I don't feel like they are overly tight or showing anything I don't want them to show. I also love that they have a zipper up here, so if I wanted to give it a little bit of a flare at the bottom, I have that option. And these are actually quite long, although you could even go for a length that is just above the ankle like that, and I think that would be fine as well. You definitely don't want to be going up like this because that's not a look. It's going to cut you off and it's going to be awkward and not flattering. It's going to shorten your leg. You definitely want to try to keep the elongation on your legs. And this is just a basic long sleeve tee from COS. I link similar things below, and there's a ton of leggings out on the market right now, and I'll find options for you in multiple price points that I think are a good quality. So already just being head to toe black, it's already elongating and slimming. However, I personally like to cover my area here. First of all, it's a little boring. And second of all, I just feel a little more confident that way. So let's see what kind of layers we can add to this to give it a little more dimension and a little more style, of course. Now I can continue going with all black, but let's throw in a little color here. I'm going with this long sleeve thin sweater, and I'm going to tie it around my waist. Right away, I'm accentuating my waist. I'm kind of hiding this area here, and I've thrown a little color into the outfit. I could, if I wanted to, also go like this. And so I'm also shielding myself that way. Maybe not the full bum, but at least some of it. And if you're more concerned with covering your front area, then that is another great option to do. For the shoes, we can keep it very casual. This type of outfit translates to so many different types of possibilities. I'm gonna open this up a little bit. I do wish almost that these were just a teensy bit shorter. Maybe I'll try to pull them up a little bit. And let's see, don't really like the look of that, so I'm gonna close this back up. I've added a little volume here, and I've added some volume at the shoes so that I'm not one big skinny mini thing head to toe. I highly suggest sticking to a contemporary modern sneaker. A white sneaker, although it's very classic, it can easily give a dated look to your leggings. I'll zhuzh the sleeves up a little bit. This would also look great with a turtleneck. Keeping this very casual, let's throw on some outerwear. This is a barn jacket I picked up in Mexico, but there are several out there. I think there's some really good ones, and Mango and Zara. I'll link everything below to help you recreate these looks if you need to fill any gaps in your closet, or if you're inspired to buy anything. I like this look as far as just keeping it very casual. This is something I'd wear to run errands or meet somebody for coffee. I'm definitely not a fan of wearing your workout leggings for fashion. However, if it's something you can't possibly avoid and you need to run an errand in the morning and then go to a workout class, or you're meeting a friend for coffee, or for some reason that you can't get out of your leggings, doing something like this can help at least camouflage it in a way to make it a little more casual and more fashionable than making it look like you're just running around in your leggings. All right, let's see if we can polish this up just a little more. A look that I really like is actually wearing leggings with loafers, believe it or not, because I'm not a loafer fan. I actually don't own any loafers, but these driving moccasins are about pretty much the closest thing I have to loafers. I like the look of that. I'm gonna keep this the same with leaving this wrapped around my waist. And let's try throwing on this blazer. Zhuzh up the sleeves a little bit. And there, it's a little more polished now. You can keep this here as just a little bit of a waist detail, and you're still covering your front area if you're self-conscious about that. Or you could move this up around your shoulders, since you have your bum covered now, and you can just wear this detail up here. And you could button this up like this as well. Let's see. This is going to look a little crazy, but I'm curious to see how this looks tied around the waist. Actually, I don't mind that, actually. I like that. So I'm tying the sweater around my waist too, acting it as a little bit of a cinching way without putting a belt there. It's a little more casual and a little more undone, but in a polished way, if you can call it that. And I like the look of this too. And this would look great with a turtleneck too. This COS t-shirt has the little thumb holes. That's why they see the hole there. If you're not much of a loafer gal, you could also play around with some ballerina flats. You can go for a pointed toe flat as well. These are not as bulky, so you are kind of going all skinny in the bottom, but I mean, I don't really hate that look, especially with the zipper open here. It helps give just a little bit of extra volume to help balance out your proportions. Another thing you could do is have a little fun with your shoulder sweater and not wear it the traditional way. I saw on Hermes where they kind of wrapped it around the neck and almost made it like more of a scarf. Just kind of tied it like this and just have it off of the shoulder like that. I think that looks really cool too, actually. And perhaps to give this some shape, you could even tie another sweater around your waist, because that's another thing Hermes did, was do multiple sweaters. They even had like doubled up on their waist, then they had one up here. Sorry for the noise. So you could do something like this as well, or you can probably go with just a traditional belt. You want to cinch your waist in a little bit if you're going to leave your jacket closed. So that's a look. Let's try it with a belt. And yeah, I like that too. So that looks great as well. Okay, keeping this same base on for the time being, I have a couple of other ideas I'm thinking. First up, with this long line vest, utilizing it from your summer wardrobe and moving it into your fall. It doesn't have to be white. Let's try it with a pointy shoe. This feels a little too stark white, so I definitely want to add a little more darkness here because this may not be the best option for this outfit. Let's see if we can't do a little more. That helps definitely. The pointed toe is very elongating. These are dark green, but they're probably looking very black on camera, so it's a little pop of color. Let's see if we can get a jacket over on top of this. I definitely want the jacket to come down longer or as long as this, because I don't think it would look good if this was peeking out from underneath a cropped jacket per se, but let's try that too and see how that looks. I have this short trench and it's navy, but it should work here. Okay, so that looks fine. It's definitely longer. I like the look of that. Now I could also introduce a lighter element on the bottom to help balance out the stark white on top. I don't have white boots. I mean, I do have a pair of Western whitish boots, but I don't think they would go with this. So I have these taupe colored ones, and at least they're light enough. So let's see how these are going to look. These are over the knee. Now I like that because you have some white, at least on the bottom. You're reintroducing something like that. So depending on if you have a white vest like this or something light colored that you need to balance, this is a good way to do it. It's kind of that sandwich rule. That's a good styling technique. I also love just throwing a big, huge, chunky cardigan sweater. This one is from the Ralph Lauren outlet store. I picked it up in February. I love how this looks. And then let's see what boots we can put with it. Again, to go with the chunkiness up here, I'm going to add a little bit of chunk down there as well. These are some new boots I picked up from Zara. Shh, don't tell anyone. I created a new account and they sent them to me. If you don't know, I'm currently banned from shopping online at Zara, but I found a way around it by creating another account. So let's see if they discover that I'm the same person. Maybe they will eventually, maybe they won't, but until then, I will be able to shop there again. And I was praying that these would fit, and they do, thank goodness, so I don't have to do another return. So I'm going to scrunch these down so I can show a little leg, but I've got a little bit of bulk going on up here. and a little bulk down there. And I love this. I feel like a little snow bunny wearing this. And this is a great look as well. So I have the shielding, I'm covered up, but I'm accentuating my waist, and I am super cozy and comfortable. Now I can get away with wearing the dark boots here because there is so much black and white going on up here that it doesn't feel unbalanced. Although there's no white on the bottom, it's such a mix up here that it works. And yeah, I'm really happy with these boots. Next base, I just changed out the top for something lighter, and I went with a turtleneck to help elongate this part of my body since I'm cutting myself off in the middle of the waist here. The leggings are the same as before, and again, I'm going to cover up a little bit of a waist cinching as well. Drawing the color all the way down. Let's see what we can do with this. I think I'm going to introduce some brown elements. So let's do this kitten heel, sling back with a little bit of leopard, and we'll do this slouchy bag. This is a good little look, and this top is a little sheer so you could see my microphone through it. That's what you see there. I like this. Very simple, basic, nothing to it. Almost looks like a little bit of a dress with leggings underneath it, but definitely executed in a more 2025 way. Okay, I changed my shoes out for flats. I think this works as well, and I opened up the zipper, and I'm gonna put a long coat on and grab a darker bag since the shoes are a little darker than they were before. Let's put this a little more this way this time, so you can see a little more of the black. I like the look of this. I almost feel like I need a little something dark up on top, so maybe we can just throw a sweater. You just throw a sweater over the coat and introduce a little darkness up here. So we could do that. Okay, so that helps a lot because I feel like it needed a little more darkness up here, even though I do have the dark hair. Could also play with a scarf. Let's see how that looks. I don't really know how to tie a scarf, so just winging it. Okay, that's that look. I like it. There's a little more darkness up here to balance out the black leggings. And speaking of scarf, I guess it would make a great alternative to a sweater around the waist to do a scarf around the waist, since that is a very strong trend right now. Let's see how that turns out. I'm not very good at that either. Yes, there's that. What do we think of that? It's a nice change. Yeah, that's a fun little element to add as well. Okay, so I really like how this looks, and I changed out the shoes to bring out the orange, a little more of a tan orange, and to match the bag as well. So this looks really good. I wish this wasn't so sheer. It almost looks like, I don't know. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's a good little first layer. And we'll try it with a coat again. Yeah, I like this much better. Definitely. That looks very chic. Okay, we can also go with a blazer over this. And there's a few things we can do with this. Playing around with it in regards to probably the footwear to see how we can manipulate this from maybe casual to something a little more polished, dressy. So let's play around with that. I'm not liking this. I think it looks a little boring, to be honest. So let's see if we could zhuzh it up a little bit. Maybe changing out the sneakers. Just not liking how these look. Okay, that looks a little better with the black sneakers, but to be honest with you, I'm still not crazy about it. I almost feel like I want to add socks. Let's try that. Okay, honestly, I actually think that looks a lot better. It's a very Gen Z look. I'm liking how it looks. I think it looks really cool. Great casual way, especially because this is a light on top here. I'm reintroducing it down there. If I were to go with maybe a black top and just keep it all black, you probably wouldn't need the socks at all. Let's just try this. I like that too. That looks good too. And of course, this looks very chic as well. Let's see how this looks untucked. Again, it's very see-through, but just imagine that it's not. So that's not bad either. I don't mind that either. No, I am kind of cutting my legs off, but you can see like a long black line that way. Yeah, so that's a casual look. Okay, just to try one more thing, I'm gonna see how a baseball hat looks with this because I feel like this is very polished you know, the blazer and the turtleneck. And then it's really sporty down there, and it feels like it just needs to like have a sporty element reintroduced up here. Yeah, actually, I think that really helps tie it all together, because otherwise it felt like a little just too mismatched, like basically just like two personalities that were clashing. And now this kind of just ties it all together. It makes it feel a little more intentional. Let me know if you think that makes a big difference in finishing off this look, or you just don't like it, basically. I don't mind it. Also, I'd imagine probably swapping this out for a hoodie would also give you that sporty element up here, so you won't need a hat. I think that would probably be a good switch out if you're not a baseball cap type of gal, and that would give you the sporty element that you need to make this outfit feel a little more intentional. I also wanted to throw on this puffer and see how this looks, because I've always seen this and I always like how it looks. So yeah, this looks good. Actually, I think I like this even better than the blazer. Just kind of zhuzh. It's peeking out a little bit at the bottom, but it doesn't bother me at all. Cute little going out for coffee kind of look. We are halfway through this video and I hope you're enjoying it so far. Please take a quick second and give this video a big thumbs up. It really truly helps the channel out, pushes this video out to more wonderful ladies like yourself who enjoy this type of content. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Maria. This channel is all about chic, sophisticated, modern fashion for the women over 40 or any age for that matter, because I don't think style has an age limit. Hitting that like button and subscribing are wonderful ways to help support this channel. But if you'd like to support it further, I also have a membership that you can join for a very small monthly fee, less than a cup of coffee. It really helps support the channel further and really helps me be able to continue making content for you. Of course, there's perks for joining the membership. You can get early access to videos. You get bonus exclusive video content that's not seen anywhere on any other platforms, and other perks too. So I hope you'll consider joining that. And I also have a monthly newsletter. The monthly newsletter is free, and you can join that by clicking on the link in the description box below or the QR code here. And this is a monthly or bi-monthly newsletter depending on my workload for the month. And it's a mishmash of this channel and my wellness channel. So each month you'll be getting tons of tips and advice and related to both channels. No matter how you choose to support this channel, I am just glad for every minute that you spend with me, and I appreciate you so much. Back to the video. Okay, sneakers are gone, swapped them out for the driving moccasins, and already I feel 10 times better. Feels a little more polished, a little more put together. Not that there was anything wrong with that outfit, it's just that was very, very casual, and now we're dressing it up just a little bit. That feels really good. I'm not wearing any socks, and the skin revealing kind of helps match with the lighter shirt up here, since I have the lighter hint of color up there. So I'm using my skin as my balancing technique in this case. Another great thing we can do here is layer a cardigan over on top of this. And you can do this with a t-shirt underneath or a turtleneck like I am. I hope I'm not muffling my microphone too much. So you can do that as well, and I like the look of that. Kind of wish this t-shirt was just a little longer. Let's change out the shoes and bring another element of brown into this outfit. Maybe these will be fun. I like the look of that. Okay, changing the base again. Please ignore my bra straps. I'm going to be covering that up in just a second. As you can see, I have changed out my leggings for some stirrup leggings. These are also highly popular for the fall season, and I'm seeing them everywhere again. So get ready for it. The stirrups are definitely back. And I'm wearing this lace long cami. This is from Zara, and I'm pretty sure it's still available right now. I bought this in Mexico. It also has a matching skirt to this, which is absolutely stunning, and I wore it for one of my birthday celebrations. And these leggings are old from Nordstrom. They're a couple of years old, but again, I will find plenty of options for you to choose from if you are interested in some. I must say, I wish these were just a teensy bit longer, because I feel like they pull a lot, and I kind of feel like they're just a smidge too short for me. They're fine, they'll do for now. So what I wanted to show you was a good way to layer in case you have, let's say, a sweater you love and you want to wear it with your leggings, but they're not long enough. For example, this one, A great way to also make it very 2025 is to get a lace cami to layer underneath it. Of course, you can also do a t-shirt or a tank top, something to peek out from underneath it. I like that these colors are very similar to each other, so it all just kind of blends together. And I like the look of that. However, I feel like I don't have really any shape going on. My hair is frizzing up from pulling and taking everything on and off. Let's see if we can't define this waist a little bit because I'm feeling a little too loose. Yeah, I really like the look of that. Let's see what kind of shoes we can find for this. I think I'm going to go for my chocolate boots. Like the look of that. See, could we zhuzh them down? Could zhuzh them down too. That looks really good. I really, really like this. Probably my favorite look so far. Now, something we're not doing in 2025, which is a very outdated look, is to go for those long tunic tops. I know we want to cover our bum and everything, but the long tunic tops are out, especially when they're shapeless and they're just floating on you. They make you look bigger than you are, and they're definitely not a very fashion-forward look. I would also include oversized shapeless t-shirts. This does nothing for your figure. And to make it even worse, throw a graphic on it. But I think we could play up with a long button-down shirt and see how that looks. I think that would be a little more current for the season. It's a classic white button-down. You can't go wrong with it. This one is on the oversized side. Of course, as you can see, it's practically a dress on me. But let's throw this on and see how we could zhuzh it up a little. This one is so long it hides the lace, so I don't necessarily need the lace underneath this one. And you can definitely go without it, even if your shirt is a little shorter. My legs start right here. If I wanted to leave this a little open, I mean, I could open it like this. If I wanted to, since I do have the lace underneath, you could close it, of course, and belt it again to give yourself a little shape if it's oversized like this, which is exactly what I'm going to do because it is pretty enormous. All right, I have zhuzhed it all in the back and I've given myself a big tail back there. But you get the idea. And I think for a pop of color, we're gonna go with a red shoe. Now you could throw the stirrup underneath the heel or just leave it as is. Since these are a little on the short side for me, it's kind of hard for me to get it out from underneath the shoe. But I like the look either way. I like the stirrup showing. I think it looks really chic. And pops of red and red shoes are very in for fall. So this is definitely taking this from looking rather classic to looking very current for 2025 because of the trendy aspect of it. I do want to show a little bit here just to lengthen up a little bit so I'm not being completely swallowed by this ginormous shirt. I like the look of that. Now, if you wanted, you could also layer a sweater over on top of this and have the white shirt stick out a little bit. I think that's a cool look. Let's try it with a cropped jacket and see how that looks. I actually really don't mind that, even though it's such a difference. It's very intentional. I'll introduce a little fuzzy texture, and that's another look. Another great question is, can you wear ankle booties with your leggings? And I think the answer is yes. However, we're not doing it like we did a decade ago when we wore our leggings a little on the shorter side and we had that gap between our ankle booty and the legging. That's not a thing anymore. You want your ankle booties to be able to come up over your legging so it looks a little more modern and fresh for the season. These are new boots I just got from Inez. They sent them to me and they gave me a discount code if you want to take advantage of anything on their site. I think it's a 15% off discount code, so that's great. I'm going to change out the belt for one that matches these boots because this is quite shapeless. And we'll finish it off with this slouchy bag just to do all the same colors of tan there. You don't need to, I guess, but I like it. So that's that. I actually like the lace because the lace is dark enough. You can get a little peek of the dark color here to reintroduce so that you don't look like this massive white blob on top here. Of course, what you can also do is just wear the white button up like an overshirt. And just have this, so you have a long column all the way down of a single color. I mean, this is close enough. It almost looks black. You can also replace this with a long line cardigan if you want, something to just create that column, and it gives you a nice elongated look. Let's switch that out and see how that looks. Okay, so I like the look of that. This is a very casual, cozy look. And although this is large because it's creating that column down the middle of almost like a monochromatic color, I don't feel the need to cinch myself in. Please remember that anything you pair with your leggings needs to be absolutely timeless or very modern. Something dated like these waterfall cardigans will instantly make you look outdated. These photos are from 2017. Now these are quite a skinny type of boot. They're almost, I guess, like a sock boot, you could say. You can definitely go with an ankle bootie that has a wider shaft so that you can have a little bit of bulk at your foot than something so skinny like this. Like these booties, for example, they have a wider shaft, as you can see, so they're adding a little more bulk down there to match the looseness of the top up here. So maybe that helps add a little balance so you don't feel skinny all the way down. These are a little too stiletto. I don't really like leggings with super high heels. I prefer a kitten heel, but this is all I have, so I'm working with it. And of course, you can also go with the classic knee-high boot. Also would look really good with a look like this. You could also swap this out for a blazer, of course. Go back to this one. So that looks very equestrian-ish. You could try to belt this as well. Let's do that. And I really like the lace peeking out from underneath this too. It looks good. And the lace up here as well. This is darling. Here's another example of how you could layer a shorter sweater with something longer, like this is a long tank top to give you a little bit of coverage. And this is another great casual look with the sneakers. You can add a sock there too if you want to add another band of white, and to also add a little bulk here in case you just feel like a little too skinny on the lower half. And I also like the tank top peeking out up on top here for a little bit of color at the face. I also love the look of a trench with leggings. I think that looks so chic. And you can do this casually. You can wear the trench, something a little more elevated, a little more polished, but I think it also just instantly adds some polish to the outfit. Cinch it back here so that you have a little less bulk on it, or you could tie it up. Like the look of that. If you're not in the mood for sneakers, we can put something else on. Like let's do these green flats because this trench is definitely on the greener side. So we could do that instantly, just changes the entire look of the outfit. Looks a little more polished. Green trench. Let's see if a trench that's shorter works with this look. I think this might come down to preference. If you are a little self-conscious of it showing a little too much, and if I put this down a little bit, that doesn't look half bad. They do come this short with a little belt on them as well, and it creates a little peplum, which I think is really chic, and I can probably mimic that. Let's see if that would work. I quite like that, and it would probably be light enough that you just leave this on as your outfit, rather than having to mess with taking this belt off and taking the jacket off. Although you could do that as well. But I like the look of this. I'm feeling, let's see, do I want to change out the shoes? Maybe because I have the peplum up here, so I might want a little more bulk on the bottom. I'm just trying to think which shoes might go. If you could see this half of the room, I've got everything sprawled out everywhere. Let's see, do I like the driving moccasin with it? No, I think these are still a little too narrow, and I feel like I need something girlier to put with it because of the peplum. Feels very girly. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my Zara boots because those seem to be creating the most bulk, what I'm looking for. Yeah, see, I like how that adds a little bit of volume and a little volume. I actually don't mind the layers of the black and the white coming out from underneath this. I think that's a good look. Do I just add the green bag for a lot more green? Yes, I will go with it. Another leggings look I love, and I'm ripping this right off the runways. This was on Balmain. They wore a very bulky oversized sweater. It was almost like a sweater dress, I guess, but it was just really bulky sweater with some over-the-knee boots that were slouched and big and bright. They had like red and I think orange in some case and a zebra one. But in any case, I don't have a big bulky sweater. So I just took my cardigan and turned it around, and that is qualifying as my big bulky sweater for this example. And these are my over-the-knee boots that you saw earlier in the video, and I've just zhuzhed them down to try to give them some bulk. And I don't have any red boots or highly contrast colored boots to offset this outfit, so this is as different as I can get. But I really love the look of this, and I think it's really chic, really stylish, like I just stepped off the runway. How can we wear our leggings for a dinner date? I think something like this is very appropriate. You have a blazer that's long. It's concealing and camouflaging you so you don't feel self-conscious, at least I'm speaking for myself. And I'm not wearing anything underneath this, but I have it cinched with a belt, working with what I have here because this is the only black blazer I have. Zhuzhed it up with a little bit of animal print at the shoe, little kitten heel, and I love the look of this. It's classic. I think it's very current for 2025. This is a great, elegant way to wear your leggings out to dinner. I also love how a statement, stunning blouse like this can work beautifully on its own. If it was just a little bit longer, and of course my boots are not perfectly matching. I don't have a pair of ivory colored boots, so I'm working with what I have, but I think something as simple as this could be just as stunning on its own for a date night. I feel elevated. I also feel shielded and covered. I feel very sexy, but I'm showing absolutely nothing at all. This would probably also look great with a slouchy boot because you do have the boxiness and the volume up on top, so you might want to add a little more volume on the bottom. Yeah, I like that as well. So this is a beautiful way to wear your leggings out to dinner. Let me just change out the bag because I'm seeing too many tones that are not matching that well. This one here matches these pretty well. I think something else that we're not doing in 2025 is wearing shiny leggings. Now, this was really big a few years back, like the faux leather and the shiny leather. Spanx had a very popular version, I recall. I don't think that's in right now. I would definitely go for a matte, understated, just a knit, plain, simple, no details on it.
Same goes for patterned leggings. These can instantly age your look and they look outdated even if they're brand new. A simple legging looks more sophisticated, so let's just stick with a plain one. And don't be afraid to venture away from black. Neutrals and earthy colors can look very luxe, sophisticated, and elegant.
I hope this video inspired you on new and exciting ways on how to wear your leggings. Let me know what your favorite outfit was, and there's shopping links below to help you recreate these looks if you're interested. As always, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet already. Check out the newsletter and consider joining the membership. I truly appreciate you for being here. Thank you so very much, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye.